Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Irvin Pancho Eddy. I am a board member of the Benton Harbor Education Foundation, and we're doing something a little new here where we're reaching out into the community and have conversations about some of the experiences and engagements that we're doing as a foundation. Now, if you don't know who we are a group of community members and Benton Harbor alums that have come together to raise funding and distribute resources that support programs that go beyond the local and state funding. And we work with district administrators and teachers and students to identify and award grants that enhance learning for both students and teachers. So today, we're going to be talking with some of our community volunteers and leaders with some of our programs such as the robotics. And we have Cortez here with us today, and we're going to have a little one-on-one conversation with him and kind of inform you of all of the great work that is being done within our community. So first of all, welcome, Cortez. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's exciting for me to be able to do this with you guys.
All right, so we have on the call with us today Cortez. And Cortez, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're involved with the program?
Okay, not a problem. I'm Cortez. I'm from Benton Harbor, born and raised, a product of Benton Harbor area schools. I got involved with the program because I wanted to do something to give back in order to be able to volunteer. One of the things that sayings that stuck with me growing up was be who you wanted to be and be who you needed when you were growing up. And so what I wanted to do was be that person. There were things that I wanted to have access to, things that I wanted to be exposed to that I didn't necessarily get the opportunity to, or the opportunity to have that exposure because of things that happen with the way school systems are, had been removed. So my childhood experience and educational experience was a little different from those that are the children that are coming through to the school districts today. So I decided to figure out to ask probably my most favorite question to ask is, how can I help? And so I asked around, I went to the school district, figured out what was going on, and found out they had a robotics program that was happening. Me, myself, personally, I have a background in electronics along with other things as well, too. So I figured I had a great skill set to be able to ask and figure out how to get involved. And once then, the ball got started rolling. And that's how I got involved with the program. I wanted to set an example. I wanted to be someone from the community that wasn't asking anything of its students or of its districts, just trying to figure out what was a good way for me to be able to help the community out and help students that look like me.
That's really good to hear, and I can relate with you for that. Of course, I'm a native of Benton Harbor as well. Went through the entire system, graduated. I'm a Tiger, class of '92. So it's good to see people here reaching back and really volunteering and trying to find out what can I do to help and be a part of this. So you said being a part of the robotics team, and your background, you said, was engineering, you say electronics, or what was the background again?
Yes, I have a background in electronics and stuff like that.
Electronics.
Yes.
So why would you say, or help our viewing audience say, why is robotics important for students from your point of view?
Okay, well, the initial thing from my point of view of why I felt like it was important is because of one of the, for lack of a better term, one of the inspiring motivations for me to do the work that I do inside of the school district and with our children is that so many times the window of opportunity of what they have what they can pursue in order to be successful is narrowed down to an athletic achievement or something that has entertainment value or things of those nature. And the reality of it is that that's simply not the case. A lot of times those things that they're interested in, they just merely have to be exposed to them in order for them to have that interest be sparked, that thing inside of them to have their curiosity to want to learn and know more. Well, because of a lot of the way that things are, there are very few opportunities to do that with budget, with education across the board for public education. There's been a lot of cuts that's out there. So there's very few opportunities for young men and young ladies and gentlemen, young boys and girls to actually come out and be able to participate in those things. So I felt like the robotics program was something that was important. Where we're at the engineering here, or excuse me, the hometown of the largest appliance manufacturer in all of the world, which those skill sets directly translate into something that they could use in order to be able to provide a decent income for themselves. So one of my tenets of beliefs is that no one should have to leave the Twin Cities area in order to become successful in the Twin Cities area. There's a lot of opportunity that's right here for those people in order to be able to enjoy those things. However, the level of exposure, there's not enough, in my opinion, equity for those children to be able to be exposed to those things, to know that. The robotics program provided that, and it provided that through a method and means that they were familiar with and be able to understand, specifically Legos. What child doesn't enjoy Legos? And that's the building blocks of where they came from. And so me understanding that there was the intelligence still within the children to be able to learn how to do it. They just had to be exposed to it and have someone with the compassion and the commitment and the consistency to show them that, in order to be able to allow them to spark that. So I got involved with it a few years ago, and it was very fledgling. And now here we are today with some pretty competitive robotics teams. So that's why I thought it was important.
That's really good to hear. And it's so important for you to say that, you know, exposing students to opportunities. And that's one reason that I've been a part for 23 years of that appliance manufacturer, working for them in our own backyard. And like you, I wanted to make sure that they had examples of how you can access that type of career right here in Benton Harbor. There's so many opportunities, but to your point, there has to be exposure with programs like the robotics. So we appreciate that work.